Uh-oh, it is Monday. How are you doing, Kelly? How was your I don't think I need to ask you this because you had a phenomenal weekend. Everything besides the fucking Pats for I think the both of us this weekend. Pats murdered a lot of my teasers. But besides that, man, and a little bit of little too much too high on Dion, but I did will say it's okay. I'm very upset we didn't use my backup, but that's hindsight is, of
You
course,
know, I had a I
2020.
had a lot of other dogs, Megan, that we could have used, and I don't know why. I just didn't get to the window on any of them. Obviously, looking back, Utah State, UAB, very proud of ULL and how they pulled away there in the second half. A lot of people were tweeting at halftime, and I'm like, be quiet.
Give him a
Uh,
second. You gotta give him a second.
Western Kentucky, great call by us.
Mm-hmm.
Little dream team action there. Sorry if I'm a
Love
little slow
that.
today. Had too many cocktails with grandma last night, and I just couldn't really get going this morning. I had a coffee, and I'm just like, meh.
And
Like
you were supposed to give up that caffeine, if I remember. So I'm gonna go ahead and tag you for that one.
listen, some days you just need drugs.
I
Okay.
don't. You don't have to fucking tell me anything. Are you kidding me? Um,
Yesterday, the drug of choice is alcohol. Today, the drug of choice is caffeine. And maybe with the double header tonight, alcohol is going to be back on the menu. We're going to find out.
That's what I wasn't going to drink tonight, but I'm like, it's raining. It's 44 degrees. We have 2 games tonight and 2 games tomorrow night. Usually, this is the time where I dry out a little bit, right? I might give my liver a break. I give myself a break. But
Megan, in Louisiana, do you guys have those IV clinics? Because I booked one for Wednesday afternoon just so I can get one before Christmas, Arizona Bowl, Money Shots Bowl, because I know I'm going to need one.
yeah, we have one, and that's actually a great idea. Whenever I go tan next, I should probably go ahead and get an IV because I don't drink nearly enough water. I drink a shit ton of Revitalite, but
You know who is the biggest Revitalite fan, and it cracks me up, is my dad. So he comes
what,
over, I don't know, a few months ago, and he's like, what's this grape shit? And I go, I don't know, you should try this. It's for hangovers, it's for dehydration, whatever. And now every time he comes to my house, he steals a bottle of it. But the grape's all gone. And now he's like, well, can you get more grape? I'm like, sure, Dad, I'll get
so
more
your
grape.
dad's a fan of the grape, fan of the grape flavor as well. I got some orange. I'll second. I'll say the orange is my second favorite. Strawberry still ranks one for me. I know you love the grape,
I
but
do love the grape too. And also, orange is the second best flavor. Strawberry sucks. I'm actually going to send you my 4 bottles of strawberry that have been in my fridge since I take it back. There's 3 in there because I opened the first one and then
you're like, eh.
I was just like, ugh, I'm
Only you
like,
were driving. That way you could just drive it over for the Texas Bowl and we could like load up
oh,
a
there you
big
go. I'll put it in my checked bags.
perfect. Speaking of which, bowls, there's a game going on right now. Tulsa Old Dominion. I know I'm throwing this at you. I don't have a play on it, but I think it opened at 9. It's down to 7.5. Old Dominion's catching 7.5. Do you have a side in this game? So I noticed someone ask about it, so I just figured I could just jump in
Yeah,
real
I mean,
quick.
look, if you can live bet it right now, I think it just kicked off. Old Dominion was a really sharp side. Uh, One of my good guy friends played it, and honestly, let's just be real. Actually, it hasn't. It starts in
30
26
minutes, I
minutes.
think. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 26 minutes. It kicks off. So you guys still have some good time. Some time. Old Dominion just a little over touchdown. Myrtle Beach Bowl. I know
How much
Tulsa.
fun.
Tulsa's
Myrtle Beach.
been. You like Myrtle Beach?
I've never been. I just think about Kenny Powers. I just that's like my favorite comedy series of all time is Eastbound and Down. So I just think about the second. I think it's the second season, or is that whenever they're in Mexico? It's whenever they're in Myrtle Beach. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh my God, I forgot all about that show. It is incredible. Look, I just know that the sharp money came in on Old Dominion. I don't have much to say about them. Both 6-6 teams. Old Dominion a little bit better against the spread this season. Outside of that, Old Dominion's been a cover machine for the last 5 games. Uh, you got to sometimes follow the money, Megan, on those when all the tickets are on one side and then the line just keeps dropping. That's called reverse line movement. So that's what we've seen here. So I tailed him. I played a little ODU. I didn't tweet it out because it wasn't my play too, but I'll give it out on money shots. So if it wins, I'll tell you where to give some credit.
Some guy said, Kelly, please tell me you're taking the under. Let's actually Rivers Kelly gave y'all 3 unders last week, which I tailed. Um, let's talk about some cash. Kelly being right. It was a slow week in the NFL, and Kelly nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. She nailed it with the Saints last night. Not only did the Saints, my Saints, which I hoped would beat Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, not only did they beat them, they allowed Tom Brady no points. A goose egg. We beat the Buccaneers, the Super Bowl champions, with 3 motherfucking field goals. Just 3. How did Grandma feel about that?
You know, I tried to get Grandma on the kicking for losers train, and she was just not having it.
Not
And then,
last
of
night.
course, I look like a jackass when not only there's not a single touchdown scored, the Saints win as 11-point underdogs with kicking 3 field goals. I mean, and in fact, shutting out Tom Brady hadn't happened since like they played the Dolphins when Nick Saban was a coach in like 2006 or something crazy. So that was a cool thing to see. The Bucks did miss a pretty easy field goal. Shockingly, we were in that end zone, and I was like, even then, you could feel the momentum shift, right? Like Bucks fans travel really well, from what I understand, but at home, every time I've ever been to Raymond James, they're absolutely nuts. That place is loud, and I think it doesn't get as much credit. It was quiet real early on, except for the loud chick behind me that wouldn't shut up about Tom Brady. And then when I told her it was past his bedtime, she didn't like that very much. And look, I took a lot of shit for this on social media. I am not disrespecting the GOAT. Tom Brady is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. And by the end of his career, he probably will be. That being said, the man goes to bed at 8 p.m. What do you want from me? 1 in 12 against the spread his last 13 primetime games. It's like you don't even have to handicap it anymore, Megan. You just say you fade Tom Brady in primetime, just like you fade Kirk Cousins in primetime, and we'll get to that here in a minute.
Exactly. I almost called out Mincy because he's like, I'm the only one that believed in the Saints. I want to be like, Mincy. That was Kelly's best bet this week. And if you would have watched Money Shots, you would have known that.
Yeah, I did tune into Barstool Advisors. He nailed it. It is really funny though because
he did nail Barstool Advisors. He definitely nailed that.
I laughed because my brother-in-law texted me last night and said, what do you like? And I was like, Saints in the under. He's like, how come you only gave out Saints on Twitter? And I go, because I hate giving out both sides of a game. Personally, he likes to do 2-team parlay. So, when he asked about the total, I had to give him an opinion. But I was really kicking myself for not also backing the under there because it was one of those double-digit favorites to the under yet again. But those divisional underdogs are kind of the rule there. So keep an eye on these. We got a couple more weeks here where teams have lots to play for, teams have nothing to play for. So the next few weeks to sift through some of this stuff is going to be really awesome.
I mean, you nailed it. Like whenever I woke up this morning, and sadly, I'm going to go ahead and admit I fell asleep. Beanies for everyone, Bill. I fell asleep when I wook up. Right?
I mean, if I wasn't there, I might have also fallen asleep.
Like I woke up and checked my phone, and I thought my phone glitched out when I saw 9-0. I was like, wait, what the fuck? Like, you know how sometimes like you'll look at whenever there's like 3 minutes, like when there's 3 minutes that's happened in the game, and like you'll pull it up from the night before, and it'll still be like the first quarter on your phone until it catches up.
Right.
I assumed that's what was happening, and then so I refreshed it, and sure enough, I'm like, wow, who dat, baby? 9-0. Let's go. Kelly absolutely nailed it. Also made me some money tailing those unders that she was talking about all week. So let's catch up here. We already talked about how the Patriots can go get lost this week. John, all we needed was one stop to cover the teaser. One stop, one measly stop. I mean, there was 17-0 at one point. Like I had crossed that off already. I'm like, all right, it is a loser, right? All of a sudden I look back, I'm like, wait, are we gonna fucking cover this? And I didn't text you, and I wasn't going to.
Well, because you know better than the jerk offs in my timeline. I literally blocked these 3 guys, and I know that's childish, Megan, but don't tweet me. There you go. And then right after that, Jonathan Taylor Thomas breaks another one. Yeah, that's what I've been calling him for years.
Respectfully, Jonathan Taylor, fuck off. Like you're great, but like we didn't.
Megan, he's trying to break some records here. He's trying to win some awards. That's where it gets difficult, right? Like what the football play is one thing. What is the right play for yourself is another. Look, yes, he should have stopped. They should have taken knees on the 1 yard line, but
whatever.
They also didn't try to tackle him. If you look at the Patriots guys, they didn't really try that hard to tackle him. So it's not like he really had some reason to go down. It was frustrating. I was pretty pissed actually about that. It was one of those situations where I try not to let myself get that mad. And boy, did I get really mad just because I also got my hopes up that I was going to be able to cover a couple of those teaser legs. It looks like Megan is frozen. Let's see if we can't get her back online. One of these days, we're gonna work on Megan's internet connection here. Yes, Bill, I do agree with you. I think the Pats do have a first round exit, and we'll see how it ends up playing out for this team. But that was just absolutely atrocious. Bills are going to be an excellent teaser play this week against the Pats, plus 7.5. If you guys can find it over at the Barstool Sportsbook, I would highly recommend it. Now, I also did tease the Ravens plus 8.5 over the lovely Bengals. And Megan is back. If we can get her, maybe, maybe not. One of these days. You know, she lives kind of in this swampy area of Louisiana. They just got Wi-Fi last year. You kill me, Megan. Kelly, thoughts on Browns Vikings tonight on teasers? No, I would not be teasing the Vikings here. This is really difficult when you have a set level of parameters to try and handicap a teaser, right? So I don't. I just do strictly Wong teasers. That is low total. So 45 and under usually. Dogs 1.5 to 2.5 up through 7.5 and 8.5, or the flip side for the favorites. But we'll get to Browns and Vikings here when we get Megan back later on in the show. But those are the two teasers this week, Bills and Ravens. I considered Jags as well. We'll see as far as if I get to the window with it. I wanted to look at it just a little bit farther. And also, I do think there's going to be some other opportunities right now. The Packers minus 7.5 over at the Barstool Sportsbook are going to be a possible teaser spot. I kind of want to see how the Browns play tonight. That is my one concern here, with obviously no Baker Mayfield, and be looking at the Indianapolis Colts too in a teaser spot. This is a Colts team that I think really turned a corner a few weeks ago, been doing great. Frank Wright, if all he does is run the ball, we're going to be absolutely solid here, and they're going to win the AFC South. Megan, don't sweat it. I told everybody you live in the swamp, and it makes it really difficult for you guys to get good Wi-Fi service out there.
Dude, no, I'm.
And we're still missing her, so I'm going to go back through.
Missing.
Dude, she's like, it's cloudy and rainy here, and of course, there you go. I'm glad Brendan is enjoying the postponements, only because you can watch football on Monday afternoons and Tuesdays. I mean, I honestly think every single Thursday and every single Monday, we should have double headers. I hate this 7 or 8 games at 10 a.m. on a Sunday for me. That's just me personally. And Wild. Ooh, I wonder if that's really your name. Wild. I like that. Is this my best season ever? This is my best college football season ever. And we're going to work on it just a little bit more. We still got a handful of bowl games. Ben is asking, Ben, at the beginning of the show, I mentioned that ODU was a sharp play. At 7.5, we're a little late to the party, but I do still like the Old Dominion side. We will see. Ben doesn't know which score Tulsa is. Tulsa's not a bad football program. We'll see how it ends up playing out. As far as thoughts on Green Bay, I do think Green Bay is probably worth a teaser spot for this week, depending on how the Browns play tonight. We'll go from there. But I wouldn't, if the Browns get the bricks beat off of them by the Raiders without Baker Mayfield, I think we'll see that line go the other way. So if you like Green Bay, right now is the time to to lock that in. And yes, Michael, we know hardwired internet is the only way.
I'm working. What I was saying before I cut out was we were supposed to have a guy come on Monday, but my son was sick at home from contact tracing, so I didn't want to freak anybody out, and so I told the guy to come later. And obviously now it's now getting Christmas time. There's a lot of things happening, guys, but we're working on it, and I promise you, I'm probably gonna fuck up again. So no worries.
Megan Starlink. This is so funny. Megan lives in a big enough town that her internet should not be a
my
problem.
internet shouldn't be this bad, but unfortunately, I have my son here who has his PlayStation and his iPad on Wi-Fi. My daughter with her iPad on
So
Wi-Fi.
Megan, you're not a tyrant like me that walks around the house and I'm like, if anybody uses the TV, internet, or anything while I'm filming,
I did
I'm a
that already,
lunatic.
but I think since Christmas is coming, everyone's thinking that I'm gonna be nice and not rip their heads off when I get off of my
Mm.
show, but wrong. Guess
Yeah,
who's
wrong. I do a lot of ass chewing after the show's over. If there's
yeah,
like a bang on this wall, or yeah, it's hard. It's hard. Work from home is fun.
it's
It also
great.
has its challenges. But Megan, it would be funny if we were in the office, because then we would be in those little tiny, like little square rooms like Jack's always in.
Oh yeah, like talking to each other. Okay, seriously though, my bad. Like I literally had a guy coming Monday to hardwire me in, and because of the virus, I'm just gonna keep blaming everything on it. So where did we leave off? We left off on beanies for everyone.
Yay.
Yay! Kelly
Great
and I
call on
both
the
had them.
Steelers, Megan. That
No,
was
you.
awesome. Except for Big Ben only got me like 13 points in fantasy, and now I'm going to lose in the first round of the playoffs because Lamar Jackson got hurt. And I should have picked up Huntley, but I did not. Alas. What can
Um,
I do? What? Like, I just swear, fantasy football is cursed. I don't know if any of you guys are cursed. Every single year, my number one pick gets hurt 4 years in a row. First year was Le'Veon Bell. He just decided to sit out. By the way, does he really think he's going to fight Jake Paul?
did you
Are
see that
you
knockout? That was pretty impressive. I'm not gonna lie. I like growing up in the internet era of YouTube era of YouTube. Like I didn't love the polls. I thought they were kind of obnoxious. Not gonna lie. You know who isn't that's trying to make a name for themselves on the internet. But I was really impressed. I was like, wow, this kid can actually fucking throw a punch and like strategically. So yeah, I was impressed. Not gonna lie, I'll give credits. Tip the old cap. I'll give credit where credit's due. Speaking of which, let's give a round of applause to Dan Campbell and the Lions. I am just so damn happy for them. I don't have any. Have you already hit your? Did you have a total on a win total on the Cardinals this year?
I don't have a win total on the Cardinals. The
Okay, good.
Cardinals was the team that I thought really were a 50-50 type team, Megan. And I said that I think it was, I think their season win total at the Barstool Sportsbook was 8. And I actually should know that because I will have it right here with all of my notes that I took prior to the season. 8 minus over minus 134 to win the division, 575 to win the Super Bowl, 45-1. I said, look, I think this looks like an 8-win team. The bookmakers did a great job here. They are favored in 9 games, but don't forget last year they lost 5 games as a favorite. They lost a couple guys on defense. So I wasn't that high on this team. And I'm going to be honest with you. I watched glimpses of this game yesterday just for survivor purposes. I couldn't believe how bad Kyler Murray played.
It was regression is a bitch. It was bound to happen, and he was bound to have just like a shit the bed game. Like he's had bad games, but he hasn't had like that like shit the bed game. And I feel like whenever you lose to the Lions in that fashion, they lost Hop, didn't they? Am I wrong about that? I only was watching it on the red zone. So
I might have missed that. I'll have to keep. I need to look at the injury report.
well, right now it's hard to look at it because you don't know whether it's going to be COVID. Really, also shout out to us last week for being super super cautious on giving out any bets or like any real anything. Considering we have 2 games tomorrow night, we know we weren't like, hey, you should do this, do this, do this. You're like, I would think I would lean the under. This is what I would play. But we're very cautious, and I feel like that's something that should be noted as we weren't ready to just throw our money at anything, and we were smart about it because this is money shots, literally taking shots with our money.
Yeah, I mean, look, like I said on the show all the time, Megan, I'm not giving out anything I'm not playing myself. We can talk about games all day long, but that's why I said, like, here's my final card. This is what I actually got to the window on. And I didn't give out the teaser because we talked about it already that I already had them from Monday, the Pats from Monday night with the Rams. There were no other teaser spots to add them to. So I didn't think there was any reason to try to give out a half a leg of a teaser.
Right. Let's see what else we got going on here. We already talked about the Saints, Buccaneers, Packers, man. They let that one get a little bit closer than they anticipated. Squeaked out that one by the skin of
Dude,
their
I
teeth.
think that Huntley might have a starting job somewhere next year.
I think so. He is. I mean, besides I don't a size difference, I guess he's and maybe I haven't seen him throw the ball as much. Maybe I just haven't paid attention to it. I'm watching the red zone, so but he's looked like Lamar Light. Like he's been out there fucking cutting up, like and in the best way possible. I've been extremely impressed. Just kind of like Heineke. He's been out there. He was cutting up. I mean, obviously. And real quick, let's take a moment of silence for your boy Teddy Bridgewater. Dude got fucking eaten alive last night.
Oh,
I'm so happy he's okay. Like I was like I hate stuff like that. Like when that happens. Like I love the game of football. I love hard heads going at it. I love a good clean tackle. But whenever you see people motionless or like shaking like he was, and we all know Teddy Bridgewater is a fragile human being anyway. But like
it was bad.
Jesus, that was awful. It was obviously impacted the game a little bit there. I would have been shaken up all around me if I would have seen that as a Bronco watching my leader go down. Um, I just, yeah, prayers up for Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy B, we're thinking of you. Kelly, what did you make of that game, or did you not get to watch too much of it?
So I had the Bengals in a teaser earlier in the week, and then I got to 3. So it's kind of like, well, you can't really give it out now. But as a Broncos fan, obviously worried about Teddy. Drew Lock is not it, and we saw that after Teddy went down. And it's unfortunate because I really was counting on them winning that game for my season win total, and that could keep them out of the wild card race here. So we'll see how next week pans out. We'll get some injury reports on Teddy, but yeah, definitely scary. Not an ideal situation ever, and it's kind of scary to see it twice basically happen in 1 week, Thursday night and then last night. So
Yeah,
these guys are out there putting their lives on the line. Really, they really are. But it's just nice to be able to see them actually get up or get something positive from there. So hopefully nothing too catastrophic for Teddy.
yeah. Someone said at least we have Drew Lock with his swagger and his rap. Yeah, true, but we gotta make sure we gotta be serious about injuries here, guys. I mean, it was awful. Never want to see that. I heard you whenever I was cutting in and out, talking a little bit or touching a little bit on the games tonight. I don't know how much you got through with that or if you have a side. Obviously, we have Nick Mullins, old Mississippi State. Let's not forget, I believe he played for the 49ers at one point and had to step in and did a pretty good job there. I'm not completely out on this Browns team. I'm not playing this game. The Raiders do need a win. Um, but I feel like the Browns have enough depth to cover. It's 2.5, I believe, right now, plus 2.5 at the Barstool Sportsbook. They're at home. The
I think
dogs
it got up to 3
is
just a
it back
little
up
bit
to 3?
ago. Let me look and see, pull it
It's
back up.
have been
I am
bouncing
seeing a
around.
3, Megan. And look, I'd mentioned that if I saw a 7 with the Ravens the other day, that I was going to bet them because I didn't think Huntley was more than a 3-point drop off to Lamar. And then their whole team got decimated. And at 9, I had no choice but to take it. I had no choice but to take the 9 just based on principle. And I do feel like that's the same case here with the Browns. The Browns were a 5.5-point favorite. All of the COVID shit goes down. We hear all of the guys that are listed out. Moves Raiders to -1.5. Then they move the game. Browns are back to a 3-point favorite. Then they announce Baker Mayfield's out. Now Browns are a 3-point underdog. These swings have been absolutely bonkers, but all they are is giant overreactions. And I've talked about this a lot on the show. It's best not to overreact because the bookmakers are banking on you doing so. And that is to any type of information. They've already had access to that information. So what I did yesterday was I put Packers -4.5 in my contest. And then I bet the Ravens. That's actually what I'm going to do tonight with the Raiders. I have Raiders plus 5.5 in my office football big money league pool. And I'm going to take the Browns plus 3. I think that there was a great middle opportunity there yesterday with the Packers. It didn't happen. The Packers almost lost that game. Luckily for them, Harbaugh went for 2 again and didn't get it. But look, this is a middleable spread, if you will. So if you have Raiders plus 5.5 from earlier in the week, you absolutely should take Browns plus 3 to try to win both bets.
Also, really quickly, I know I'm jumping around a bit, but I want to go ahead and say shout out Davis Mills and the Texans. You and I talked about that last week. Just because there's an interim coach doesn't always mean that people are going to get fired up to play. Maybe the Jags just aren't that good. Kelly and I hit on that, and it seems like we hit it right on the head. So just quickly adding that in there. Jumping back into tonight's game. So Browns would be the side that you would lean if you wanted to play, if anything, as far as the overreaction. Is that why, right?
Yeah, I just think so. I don't think that the drop off here is. I am going to look at the final injury report, make sure everybody's playing, and then if I do end up firing on the Browns, I'll tweet it out.
All right. Then we also have Mr. Kirk Cousins on a Monday night. I teased the Bears. First leg of my teaser already hit, which was the Bills. I didn't need to tease the Bills. Bills did their job. I knew that they were going to go out there and beat up on Carolina, but I was just a little scared to take it full, the full spread there. But I have the Bears teased, and really it's just the classic fate of Kirk Cousins on Monday primetime. And plus, I feel like this Bears team, and I hate backing Matt Nagy, but I feel like there's potential with the Bears team, but they just never, as I feel like I've said this, they just never really play up to true potential. And again, I got the Bears. I just need them to stay within 12. I think that they can do that against the Vikings. At least I'm hoping so. I just need Kirk Cousins to shit the bed once again on a Monday. Hopefully, Cook doesn't do anything crazy. What are your thoughts here, Kel?
So Kirk has actually covered 3 of his last 4 primetime appearances. That's just the truth. I know he gets a lot of flack because that's what his career has looked like. And this year, I don't think a lot of the Vikings' woes have been on Kirk.
I haven't.
The love of my life, Coach Zimmer, maybe more so. I will say this, however, I just pulled up the Chicago weather. It is going to be freezing at kickoff, literally 33 degrees. And we know the Minnesota plays inside. So these colder weather type games can affect players differently. Then you got on the flip side, you just nailed it. This is a Bears team that has just been so, they are just not exciting to watch. They don't bring a whole lot to the table. They're 4-9. They're 4-9 against the spread. And that is because their defense is just really not stepped up like everybody thought that they would. They've shown some moments of greatness that we've seen, but this Bears team just doesn't cover football games. Have they quit on their coach? Absolutely. Does that mean that they really quit on their coach? Maybe. They have a lot of injuries, a lot of guys questionable. Peters is downgraded to out. Hicks is questionable. Goodwin is questionable. So keep an eye out to see if Justin Fields is even going to have any real big playmakers. That being said, I love the primetime home dog. I just don't know if I love this one. He might have fleas. So for me, I'm going to go ahead and pass. Yeah, Bill, it does look like it's going to be Justin Fields and not Dalton, but we shall see. I would love to fade the Vikings here. And if the Vikings were 7.5, I'd probably tease them down to -1.5 and just call it a damn day. I don't think the Bears are going to win this game, but every once in a while, they do pull off those sneaky upsets at Soldier Field. This could be one of them. And this looks more like an over-type game. Again, I don't think I'm going to be getting involved, but I'll let you guys know if I do.
Okay, so we usually don't do this, but we got 2 games tomorrow, Cal. We got the Seahawks Rams, which is the first we're talking about. And I think that a lot of people are going to be back. That is why I haven't really looked at it, if I'm going to be honest, as far as the injury report. As far as who's all going to be back. I know the Rams, that number has been all over the place. I don't have a play on this game. I will not have a play on this game. I need your extra sharp advice here to tell me if I wanted to play something, what would be my best bet?
So we all know that a couple of weeks ago, the Rams, everybody wanted to hand them the Lombardi. And then what happened? They fell flat on their face. And now they've kind of picked themselves up by the bootstraps. And, everybody wants to kind of cheer for this Rams team again. If the Rams, pass all the protocols and stuff today, should the Rams cover? Absolutely. What does Seattle have left to play for, right? This is a Seattle team that I said was going to miss the playoffs. Sure looks like they're going to miss the playoffs. And I do think that they're just not a complete team right now, right? I do hope Tyler Lockett has a big game because I need him for my fantasy team. Outside of that, there's not really.
I thought Lockett had COVID still now. Is he back?
I'm hoping that he tested. I'm going to find out about his tests specifically here
Do you have an inside source? Like you have someone that like a friend of a friend of a friend
I
who
mean,
knows all the
Tyler Lockett did
information?
go to K-State, but I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm going to see if I can get some information because it looks like he's still going to be out. Unfortunately, even though they did move it to Tuesday, so that's what's really hard about this game, right? They're
So
divisional rivals. Usually, this is kind of Seattle's chance to play spoiler, if you will, and that's about all they can bring to the table here. If the
well, who do they
line gets
have
much
besides Metcalf? If Lockett's not playing, what are they going to just like double team Metcalf and then
But
what?
that's what they do anyway. That's what I feel like. I feel like they double team Metcalf regardless. The biggest problem is the Seattle defense, right? And that concerns me here with Matthew Stafford, who obviously is playing much better as a Ram. We know that he's had back spasms off and on throughout the years. But Ben Moore says Rams still feel off to me, and the Cardinals getting smoked by the Lions kind of makes me want to stay off the Rams. I try not to let two things that aren't necessarily correlated affect, and I try to handicap the games by themselves. But I'm with you, Ben. I do think that it can kind of be a question, if you will, right? Because maybe the Rams aren't as good as we thought they were, or were the Rams just having an off game? I think that's the biggest mind fuck of the NFL as a whole.
I would agree with that. It's just I'm jokingly a couple.
And we're gonna lose Megan again, and she's gonna scream at everybody for being on the Wi-Fi. I'm here for it. I think we should
Obviously, the joke the one.
post Megan, I think you should post a video of right after you just selfie style of you just screaming at everybody in the household for just burning up your Wi-Fi and ruining money shots today. All right, let's move on to the last Tuesday night game because, well, this one's been moved a ton and this one's bounced all over the place too. Washington football team opened as a 4.5-point underdog, got bet all the way up to 9. They move the game. Washington football team gets 4 defensive linemen supposed to be back on Tuesday. Line kind of dust settles around a touchdown. Now Philly minus 6.5 at the Barstool Sportsbook. This one's tough, right? We all knew that I was super high on the Washington football team to start the season. And while I'm not getting the result I wanted because of Ryan Fitzpatrick not being under center, Megan's right. Heineke's been okay, but he's not been good enough. My question is who the fuck is Philadelphia to be laying this kind of points in a divisional game? And that's what I don't think makes the most sense here. Jalen Hurts, no disrespect. I'm just not here for it. I think Philly's going to have a good pass rush. There's going to be a ton of pressure on Heineke. Hopefully he doesn't make some of the same mistakes we've seen him make before. But on the flip side, Washington football team should be able to shut down the run. I think this looks like a really good game. And honestly, I could see the under being more of a factor here. Current line over at the Barstool Sportsbook is 42. So we'll see. Look, if this one gets much higher, we even see it get bet up again. I may take Philly in a teaser spot, but we'll see how it plays out. And Megan's back.
Okay, sorry. I'm now very, very angry. I literally just got on Amazon in that 2 minutes and ordered an Ethernet cord because this is not until this fucking man comes in. This is not going to happen again. Not dealing with it, so it should be here within the next 3 days. I do have Amazon Prime, though Prime has not been acting Prime lately. It's been very suspect.
Amazon has not been Prime.
No, it has not. Sorry again for the technical difficulties today, guys. I promise we're going to get it handled. Kelly is a pro. I am not, obviously. We were talking about the last game on the card, which was Eagles, Washington. I'm sure you've kind of covered it already. Washington's playing a quarterback that hasn't played, right? Is that the correct?
Well, I am looking right now because the guys in the question are asking about Hurts. Hurts just got upgraded to probable on Tuesday, which I kind of had figured he was going to play. And then I'm trying to find out if it's going to be Heineke or Allen. And I'm not seeing anything football team injury. It still makes me laugh every single time to call them.
I want to say that I had McDonald's internet. Honestly, McDonald's probably has better internet than I do.
They definitely do.
Hilarious. But yeah.
I do think that we're going to see here injury report. That's from 2 days ago. Terry McLaurin still in concussion protocol. There's a lot of what ifs on this football team as of right now. Terry McLaurin full
Yeah,
practice on
Heineke's
Saturday. So that's good news. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything about Heineke.
He
So
said someone says tested positive for recently, but how recent is recent? Obviously, these guys somehow are getting over it within 3 days. Don't know how that's happening, but
yeah, I don't know either, Megan. Weird.
what is the name of all the White Claw things? You mean Nooners? Those would be Nooners. There's no such thing as White Claws. I have no idea what those are. Polar bear for hands, just Nooners. But that's really all we have today. Again, sorry for the technical difficulties. If I had to pick a side, I lean Eagles. I just because of the Washington football team. If they don't have Heineke, I don't know what they're. I mean, that's.
I think we'll see it get back up even further if that is the case, Megan. I think as of right now, it's already basically built to the line that he will not be playing. I think it will be Kyle Allen. But again, I think that 9, when it was available, that's something that we want to say. And this is something I'd like to clarify because I did tweet this yesterday when I told, my buddy does this fade the bartender thing, right? And basically that's what you do. He posts with the bartenders on, you fade. The bartender went 0-2 yesterday. It means we go 2-0. But what I had said was, if you're going to lay 9 with Green Bay, you're just too late to the party here. And that's kind of how I feel about some of these lines of the overreaction. If you wait until the line is completely flip-flopped, right? It's too late to bet the Raiders tonight at -3, in my opinion, because 5.5 plus 1.5, all these better numbers were available prior to the news. And that's the thing, is you want to get the best of the line. If you make a habit of betting into these bad numbers, you're going to lose more often than not, as we saw yesterday in a 1-game sample size with Green Bay. I'm not saying I'm going to bet the Washington football team, but I think you might be a little late here with Philly as well as some of these other lines.
Which means Megan will probably not be playing either one of those games. I'll just be sitting here hoping that Justin Fields can keep it within 12 for me so I can cover the other leg of my teaser, since the Patriots just wanted to allow Jonathan Taylor to run in their assholes. So that was great. Old Dominion returns the opening.
Yes, let's go.
There goes that sharp money. Kelly told you that's where the sharp side was. And looky here. She's right a fucking again. If you guys have been following money shots over the last 2 weeks, you've definitely made some money in the NFL and, of course, with college football. We were real close to hitting that parlay. I think we might start doing a money shots parlay here soon for you guys. But other than that, we'll see you back on Thursday.
So we are going to do a show Thursday, correct, Megan?
No. Wait, are we? We haven't decided that. Right?
We've got to figure out travel schedules, stuff like that. I'm open to do a show. I think Megan is as well. We'll get with Jack. Then we'll be back Monday. I hope everybody who celebrates Christmas has an amazing Christmas. Then Megan and I have to figure out our schedule for the Arizona Bowl. And so we'll do some
guerrilla
shows.
Marketing. Look how cool these hats are.
Those
Go
are
get a
cool.
hat. Go get a hat. Guerrilla marketing now.
And then we'll get some Money Shots Bowls hats sometime, because then we'll be in Houston for the Money Shots Bowl. So we're going to try to keep giving you guys show all the way up until the bowl season ends. And then we'll go back to our regular scheduled programming with some college basketball, some NBA. Should be pretty fun. I'm excited.
Should be great. Kelly is the NBA expert here. I just kind of like to watch for fun. I don't bet.
No, Megan. There is no NBA. There's no such thing as an NBA expert. I'm going to tell you this right now.
We'll get on a guest. How about that? We'll get on a guest for NBA to give you guys some sharp picks for NBA. We all know Kelly knows all of the sharp people. If I brought somebody on, you won't want to listen to their opinion. So we'll get Kelly on with the NBA guest to give y'all some good picks. I hope y'all have a fantastic Monday. We have 4 NFL games to relish in over the next 2 days. Next time y'all see me, this internet won't be a problem anymore. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for dealing with me and my children. We'll see y'all soon.
Oh, poor Meg.